Okay, hello. My name is Cassandra Ostermeyer, and I am the Strategic Marketing Director at Systemax.
And my name is Jocelyn Holzmacher. I am the creative director at Systemax.
So, Jocelyn, today I kind of want to talk to you about what really a brand is. We do a lot of rebranding and brand management for our customers. And I think that there's sometimes a misperception that brand is just your logo. So, can you talk a little bit about really what brand actually means beyond just your logo and your colors?
Sure, yeah, we hear that a lot. A lot of times we hear clients say, my brand, my logo, and that's really what, and their perception what their brand is. But honestly, your brand is so much more than your logo. Your logo is a portion of your brand, but your brand really is, it's really what your customer's perception is of your company or organization. I mean, that it can start with the experience they have when they walk into your store or your building, what they see on your website. Um, it's not just a printed material or logo or your marketing materials. It's really the overall experience and the feeling that your customer or client has when they're interacting with any aspect of your company or your organization.
Yeah, so some things to keep in mind that you want to say really consistent online and offline would be, for example, like you said, like your atmosphere that the smell can even be, a lot of, if you're a retail store, that can be very on brand. I know I've been in certain stores and I just, that certain smell of that, whatever they're using or their perfume, or, versus just, the general open feeling like we have in our office. So, open communication is kind of what we like to get across. So it can be, anything from atmosphere to, yeah, to business cards, to promo items, but also even, onboarding is something that, a lot of people like to offer their new clients or new customers and also new employees. Like, how do you present yourself? Are you playful? Are you a fun, creative group? Are you serious and professional? So, that really all of that plays into the brand, the overall brand. And so as a designer and a creative, how can you, what do you suggest people, how should they start when because it can be overwhelming to think about all of those things that go into a brand, right? So where do you think that they should start when kind of creating that rebrand?
So really for a rebrand, when we start with a client for a rebrand, we really start by, we start with a survey and getting to know them and getting to know your company and all these touchy-feely questions about the company. But then we really start with the logo and just deciding, the design. Is it a complete overhaul? Is it a refresh? We go through that whole design process, thinking about the colors, what colors, really should be used, what appeal to your target customers, even choosing the fonts. A lot of people don't think about those things, but your fonts and how they're perceived. I mean, if you are a lawyer or, a very professional organization, you don't want to be using a script font. That doesn't portray your company well and doesn't give the feeling and the vibes that you want people to feel when they see your logo. So really that's our starting steps that we work through. It goes much deeper than that and beyond that, but that's kind of a brief overview of that process.
Yeah, and then from there, we kind of help them with, like I had mentioned earlier, any promo material mock-up, letterhead, business cards, all of those things. So it's very consistent offline. But then Also online, that experience, if it's a fun kind of trendy company, you want that very creative website. If it's more professional, you want something that's just, informational. So really carrying through and being very consistent, I think will carrying through all of your products and your items, your promotional items, and your anything you're putting out there as far as print and logos and designs. But then also just, I think a lot of people really have to just like dig deep and be like, how do we want to represent ourselves, and that's what we help our customers with when, taking those surveys and asking those questions. It's really finding out what kind of company are you and what do you want to communicate through your brand. So yeah, again, it is so much more than a logo. And I feel like we could go on, and maybe we will. Maybe we'll start having a little chat just on onboarding or just on, employee searches or things like that. But I think, today, I think we covered a lot of information for people to understand that really it's just so much more than a logo. Don't you agree?
Yes, for sure. And like you said, I mean, we could dive so much deeper into this with the onboarding process. That's something that we've spent a lot of time at Systemax working through. We rebranded our company I think it was around 6 years ago. And during that rebrand, we really evaluated our onboarding process. What perception do we want to give to our clients? What type of organization are we? Is it reflected through our copywriting and our building, the atmosphere, like you said, all those things. So
Yeah.
It definitely encompasses everything for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so I would recommend, people do a lot of, kind of almost soul searching on when they're thinking about that rebrand. And then, if they need help kind of coming up with those questions to ask themselves, they can reach out to us and we can help walk them through that. Do you have anything else that you want to add about it?
No, I mean, I would just to piggyback on what you said, people, even if they're just questioning, like, should I rebrand or where even do I start? Or maybe I just have some questions about onboarding or how did you guys do this? Definitely reach out. We're more than willing to talk through that. Our team or our CEO, we're more than willing to be a resource to help people through this process.
Yeah, and it's a fun process.
It's
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of our job. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for chatting with me today. And until next time.
All right. Thanks, Cassie.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.